Hello, in this tutorial we're going to look at how to use radio to send messages and data between two different microbits. And in the end we'll look at how to put it on a little LED display. So we have two microbits. Let's jump over to the MakerCode website and have a look. Okay, so on the MakerCode website I've got two different windows open, one for each of my microbits. So on the first one we're going to send radio numbers. So if we look under radio, the first thing we've got to do is set the radio group. We can do this to both of ours. They need to be on the same group. So if they're on group 1, they'll be able to talk to each other. You can change this number all the way up to 255. You want a different number from anyone else around you using microbits with radio. Otherwise you're going to receive their numbers and that's not going to work. So choose a random number and make sure both of your microbits are on the same radio group. Then under radio, we're going to send a number. So we want to radio send number. And let's do that on button A. So when we push button A, we're going to send number 1. That's easy enough. On the other microbit, we've got to do something when we receive that number. So we're going to use on radio receive number. We're going to show LEDs, show a number on the LEDs. We can drag this receive number in there. So whatever number we receive, when we receive a number, we're going to show that number on the screen. So let's download these and see how it goes. It's a little bit of a process to do two different codes, so we'll make that happen. Okay, all done. So if I push button A on this microbit in my left hand, it should show a number on the microbit in my right hand. Perfect, right? I'll click reset. If I push button A, it sends a number 1 to the other microbit. So that's very minimal, basic, what we can do, right? If we head back to the MakerCode, let's do some things with those numbers. So rather than just showing it on the screen, or rather than just sending a number 1, we can make this communication go both ways. So on button A, I might send number 1, but then on radio receive number, I'm going to do a couple of different things. Maybe I'm going to say this if statement. And then I've got another logic comparison here. Say if radio receive number equals 1, then it's going to do something. So when it receives a number, it's going to check. If that number is a 1, then it's going to do this, whatever we put in here. So let's put another radio and radio send number in there. But this time, instead of just typing in a number, let's send a light level reading. So when it receives a number, it'll check if it's number 1, then it's going to send the light level number back to the other microbit. Okay, so on the other microbit, we've just sent number 1. That's the instruction to get the light level. So here, we then want to display the light level. So we can go radio, and we need a radio received number. So I'm going to grab this whole thing here. On radio received number, we're going to show that number on the screen. So now we should push button A and it should check the other microbit, the light level on the other microbit, and send that back to microbit A and show it on the screen. So we'll download those and we'll try it. Okay, so microbit A, I'm calling this one. If I push button A, it gets the light level from this microbit. If I cover this one up, 0 light level. If I uncover it, I get a higher light level reading. So this would be great for a project where microbits are further away, or this one's kind of in a location that you want to collect data, but maybe you can't access it, and you use the other microbit to check what's happening on this microbit. Back to MakerCode for a second. Let's go a little bit deeper. Okay, so that's just radio number 1, right? If I expand this statement, maybe I'll make it a bit bigger. Let's copy this received number and pop it down here. And let's just check. If radio received number equals 2, then we can do something else. So instead of light level, we could use one of the other inputs, maybe temperature, right? So we're going to do the same thing, get radio send number, and then temperature. That would work. Or I can also control motors, etc., right? So if number equals 3, then I could tell a servo motor to move, or I could tell the wheels to drive forwards on a robot or something. But there's plenty of ways you could use one of your microbits to control the other if it was a robot. But in this case, we're trying to get data back from the second microbit. So on my other code, I just have to have another input on button B, and I'll radio send number 2, and then we'll check that real quick. So now I've got 2 different options. Let's just download them. So now I can check light level. There we go. And if I push button B, I'll get temperature, 24 degrees. Light level on this one, temperature on the other one.